Alright, hey there YouTube. Let's try and get my laptop going here. Alright, so once again, we're playing some Total War Warhammer 3. Saw some announcements for some games I was kind of interested in. I'll have to keep an eye on those. I want to see what the new Mothership and new Sins of Solar Empire are going to be like. I can't believe that those games are actually getting new copies. But, yeah. It's kind of also funny that they're both coming out similar times. Oops, that is not what I... Alright, let's just hit that. Not that. This. Okay. So I'm going to look a little bit more at, like, deep dive of stats and stuff like that here. So... yeah, like I've said, the consistent problem I sort of have with these guys is, like, their elite infantry, everything that's sort of, like, here and up, doesn't really hold up very well. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, I've done testing with Swordmasters, and they, like, beat every other elite infantry in the game. And it's like, okay, but they do way worse than other elite infantry against things that are not elite infantry. If I were to sort of, like, go over to... well, let's go with dwarves, I think, as an example. If you've got a unit of hammerers, these guys are not as good in an elite infantry versus elite infantry fight for a similar sort of cost as one another, compared to the swordmasters. However, the hammerers do a ton of damage that's against every target. Their stats are actually really good. They've got that spell resistance, they're a little bit more resilient against magic, and they're a lot more durable. So what ends up happening is, if your hammerers get stuck fighting cavalry, they still do really, really, really well against the cavalry. They still do quite well against monsters, even though that's not really what they're supposed to be fighting. And they'll be able to sort of get through a few things that do well against them, just because they're well armored, they've got enough hit points, they've got enough melee defense to sort of survive some of that. Whereas, if the swordmasters are fighting against something like cavalry, yeah, they've also got decent armor, but their health is a lot lower. They cost a little bit more, and their weapon strength is way lower. So they don't do very much damage to that cavalry. They take more damage from it by a little bit. That damage means more because they have less hit points. Their melee defense is actually the same. I didn't realize that. It's going to be a little bit higher, actually, thanks to martial prowess. So that's not actually true. The High Elves have a higher melee defense. Which I kind of thought was the case, but a lot of that doesn't matter tremendously against things like cavalry, where things like unit mass matter more, and these guys have relatively low unit mass, so all of that combined means that this unit does really not cost effectively versus like cavalry or monsters or something like that, whereas the hammerers do. And if we were to go over to someone like, say, let's look for Chaos. Where's Warriors of Chaos? Down here. You can get sort of a similar sort of impression from the Chosen with Great Weapons here. Swordmasters both actually do better in a direct fight against the Chosen with Great Weapons, but again, you're seeing the Chosen with Great Weapons, they've got actually about the same melee defense, even when considering martial prowess. They've got much higher weapon strength. They've got like way higher hit points, they've got much better armor. So that combination means that they're not as easily countered. And that's sort of the key thing that we're consistently sort of seeing from factions that can take their elite infantry, is that their elite infantry aren't just countered. This means that maybe the elite infantry go-to for the High Elves is going to have to be Phoenix Guard, which I don't necessarily like taking. The reason is that they've got that physical resistance 30%, they've got higher melee defense, their martial mastery instead of the regular means that they're actually pretty decent in a stand-up fight against infantry and stuff like that. They're not designed to cut through infantry hordes, but they do an okay job at it. So we might try taking some of them. Again, the problem is that they don't exactly have a ton of hit points. So, in spite of everything, they've got the better armor than Swordmasters, they've got, better melee defense than Swordmasters, but their 8,400 hit points means that they're kind of vulnerable. For their physical resistance means they're a little bit vulnerable. Even with that physical resistance, they're still a little bit vulnerable because they're going to get hit by spells, they're going to get hit by things with magic attacks. Charge Reflect might make a big difference, though, but again, it's infantry that this unit has to worry about getting card countered by, not the other stuff. Like, if they get hit by Chosen of Chaos, they get absolutely wrecked. Oh, finally got my laptop working. Hi there, Egg. Fight, yeah. Well, let's get into a fight and let's try out some Phoenix Guard and see if they can hold the line against stuff. So we're gonna have, I think, them as kind of line holders, and I'm gonna have like a lot of cavalry. I tend to have a lot of cavalry because I think it works well for high elves in this game mode against a lot of the things that people take. Try and go a bit hammer anvil, but again, you can't really afford much of a hammer and you can't afford much of an anvil. You're affording like 2 units. Could also try like flyers as my hammers. Maybe I need to try that more as like more flyers. Let's see here. That's the style of combat. What map are we on? Eye in the North. This one I can do a little bit of shooting. I think. I feel like this one's okay for shooting. I really need to get better at like microing chariots, like all the cheesy stuff. Yeah, I've told you this. I'm a high elf player. It's the tabletop army that I sort of played like a long time ago too. I do think that like they're pretty weak right now, though. I don't think that they're the strongest, and it's not like they're weak against everything. I think it's that they've got really bad blind spots that make them susceptible. Let's try this. Couple of them. Teclis, I think, is okay. I think Teclis does pretty okay. Gonna go with the Star Dragon Princess here. And the reason I'm sort of going for this is I think that we might want to have like some kind of shooting base set up here. And she's okay at that while also being able to do that hammer anvil thing that I was talking about. Let's do that. Who are we up against, actually? I might try a Teclis match next. He does pretty well against certain things that I like, but he does pretty poorly against others. Maybe like Harvesting Season, we're probably going to be facing off against like Chaos or something like that. Or Undead. I might swap to this, just because it fits nicely. Alright, so what are we up against here? Yeah, Tomb Kings, okay. Okay, so I do need Apotheosis here. I think that we'll keep Silk Wench. I don't need that. I don't need this. We do want to keep Fury Convocation. This is going to be a bit risky against Tomb Kings, honestly, because they're going to have a lot of shooting. Well, I committed. Just going to have to deal with some of this. Okay, Horse, because I need someone who can sort of fight some of the long range stuff. Get another one of these. Gonna get a couple of units of these guys. And we're gonna actually just get some more flyers. I'm gonna get Frostheart Phoenix available. We're gonna get some Great Eagles maybe. Then we're gonna have some of them. And we'll get 2 of these guys. Alright. I'm not liking this. But if we're trying to make like our big play based around like Phoenix Guard and stuff like that, then we're gonna try making a Phoenix Guard work, even though I think this is a bad matchup for them. The reason I think this is a bad matchup is their big guys are like a lot of ranged ones. They're not gonna like fight my Phoenix Guard on the point or anything like that with anything big. They're just gonna throw chaff at it. In this case, you want kind of like rangers and stuff like that, or other things similar to that, I think. And a lot of their attacks are magic too, especially their artillery, so I'm not getting the 30% physical resist either. This is one of those ones, again, where probably use like white lines for armor crackers. And then I have to use like Dragon Prince, especially the Regiments of Renown Dragon Princes to take out like large targets, because that would actually have the anti-large traits. I wonder if they changed Flying Nobles so that they've got anti-large. I should check that. It used to be that if you went on a chariot or an eagle, your nobles lost anti-large. Either way, though, got a bit of a flying corps. Got some ability to hit people who are in the air. I wonder what like the current thing for these guys is, because they're kind of an artillery faction, and I don't necessarily know that their artillery does any better in these crappy maps than anyone else's. Yeah, it probably does, honestly. You've got giants that are like tough enough that they can wander over towards the cap points and stand on them and shoot at things that are relatively close by without being too much at risk. Whereas if I tried to do that with bolt throwers, they would immediately get decrewed. I think the monstrous artillery doesn't get penalized enough for the fact that they can't be decrewed properly. Because that is one of the easiest ways to deal with artillery, is to just make it so that the crew gets knocked around for just a few seconds. It's very annoying. Alright, well, that's not quite in range anyway. I think we want to rush down to here and get sort of outside of line of sight for a lot of stuff, although if he goes here with his artillery, that'll of course give him a nice long line of fire down that way, but... So that being said, we'll have our cavalry on the left. Have our Phoenix Guards center.
It will be done.
I think we'll put these guys over here now. We'll have them ready to support center.
Northern Sea Guard.
So the thing I'm sort of worried about as far as like range stuff is that he puts them over there. If he puts his range stuff up here, I think we can get like out of line of sight a little bit. Let's see here. Are these Ushabti Great Bows? Yep.
Make Ulfuan proud.
Kadai, hear me.
Okay.
Silver Helms.
So we're gonna want more infantry. Just getting the basics out here is going to be fine. He's got lots of chaff here. He's got the giants. Bone giants are just ridiculously good.
Eagle Claw.
Alright, let's fire at this guy a little bit. Actually, no, let's stick this way.
It shall be.
Just trying to get as close into this wall as possible. Oh, no, that artillery is still getting down that hill. No, he's actually getting blocked a little bit.
For duty.
Princess of Ulthuan.
I'm not liking this positioning all that much.
We will obey. Kill them.
Move.
Okay, I want these guys actually out of there. Actually, let's get Dragon Breath down this way. I think that's an okay angle. I don't actually know for sure.
Loyal. Silver Helms.
Tomb Scorpions, I think, do actually kind of like beat a single Silverhelm unit, so I have to be mindful of that.
Archers. Steel.
Alright, that hit was really nice from our dragon here.
Assault Princess. By your
Switch to
will.
melee, heading there.
Battle calls.
Ouch, our Shapti, those of the Shapti are like starting to focus on my general here. It's causing some real damage. So I'm going to want to get a hit real hard and then get out.
Silver Helms.
Okay, that fortunately hit mostly
Archers.
not me. Kind of need to save up for my mage.
Serve the king.
duty. By Alariel!
So they can get healing down, basically. Alright, that Tomb Scorpion, I think, is in trouble.
Lakoy!
He's causing a lot of friendly fire to himself as well here.
Silver Helms! Orders understood!
Usually Shrapti are actually going to go down to just firepower. I don't have to worry about them, I don't think.
Mage, forward.
Apotheos is there.
Champion of order.
For duty, we advance!
Alright, we're starting to take the point, which is great. These things are all taking a ton of damage.
Yes.
Don't have a great line on this, unfortunately. I think we wait till they try to get this unit. I'm going to actually move out a little bit here.
Silver Helms! Death to all!
I'm noticing his skeletons are not actually, like, at all concerned about, like, morale. They seem to be completely immune to morale break for one reason or another.
Spellcaster. For order. Menlui! Araya Menlui!
There we go, got that thing finally.
Understood! Pull back! Onward! Moving out! Following orders!
Princess of Ulthuan.
Alright, let's just fend off that stuff a little bit here. Yeah, we got this cleared off completely now, which is interesting.
You have the foe's victory point.
For order.
Okay, let's start shooting at these guys' bits.
I concur.
Eagle Claw!
Didn't I have two of you guys? Did one die somehow? Did I run it into melee or something, or did I accidentally...
For our ancestors!
Ouch.
Moving out. Seal.
Oh, this is...
Asturian wills it.
Very well. Winds of magic rise!
I think I'm clipping my own guys a little bit more than I have to, but...
Northern Sea Guard! For Asturian!
Alright, that got a pretty good hit on those Tomb Guard.
Wielder of the winds.
Acknowledged! Lakoy!
Tomb Guard's halberds.
For duty!
Get some more archers as well.
Archers! Lakoy!
Princess of Ulthuan.
Lakoy Soraya!
Gonna take a hit on these guys here, just because that's gonna
We will
let me
obey.
get
Loyal!
a little bit of halberd damage on them. Or sorry,
Northern Sea Guard!
or charge damage? Charge damage. I'm brain dead right now, jeez. Okay, these
Silver
guys have
Helms!
come back
Swiftly!
from routing. That's good. Lovely.
Ulthuan Mage. Onward. At once.
Got Cetra over there. Good for
Silver
him.
Helms! For
Let's just block him a
Asturian!
bit. this thing. It's gonna, like, not do anything, but...
Efua, bend to my will.
Princess. At once.
Let's get you back.
As you say. Ancestors! Draw back!
Defender of Ulthuan.
Asir Mage.
Orders received.
This
Asa,
should hit
attack!
hard enough to cause some damage there. His Bone Giants, most of them are running out of ammo, but he still has some
Archers!
ammo here.
Orders received.
Spearmen! Eurofair!
Let's get another one of these
Will be
things.
done.
Understood.
Let's get you out of there.
It will
Oops,
be
that was the
done.
wrong
Serve the king!
point.
Ready.
Alright, is Cetra on foot, I wonder? I'm not too sure. These guys are pretty much all dead.
My power is yours.
Illyrian Reavers! Asuryan guides us!
So we're just gonna smack into these guys with their Illyrian Reavers and with a cav charge real quick. All this stuff seems to have won, so we're gonna get them back down to here. Even get them to fight there. I'm gonna teleport
We
these guys
must
back.
retire.
Can I be praised?
High Mage. Moving out.
Okay, let's get our reserves back.
Scython, hear me.
This charge should actually take out the rest of those guys. Yeah, they're gone.
Asa, withdraw! Yes! Orders understood!
Okay, he's infantry, so I can't get in on him in the way I really want to.
Ulthuan Mage. Winds of magic rise.
I think I'm going to be hitting my own cav here, but this should be fine.
We will obey.
Orders received! Following orders!
I think we're doing okay here, honestly.
It will be done! To
I'm
battle!
going to just block these Tomb Guard with a charge here.
Archers!
Recall these archers.
Spearmen!
Recall these spearmen.
Let us
Recall these
withdraw.
cav.
Sign up!
Alright.
Princess of Ulthuan.
Draw back!
For Asuryan. Lakoi.
Actually, let's try and breathe on Cetra
Acknowledged.
himself.
Silver Helms! Loyal! Swiftly!
Problem is there's way too many anti-cav things around here.
Ulthuan Mage.
Pull back!
Menlui. Araya Menlui.
Alright, let's see if we can't hit Cetra with some pretty big flames here.
Understood.
No, I'm missing. Oh no, I got him.
St. Louis.
For order! Death to all!
Okay.
Ulthuan Mage. Setting forth.
It's probably going to cause more friendly fire than it's going to help, but... Alright, where's my damaged Phoenix Guard here? Are they even... Do I even have any left here? Kind of surprised I don't have access to another unit of
Battle calls!
my guys. Alright.
Ulfwan Mage. Efua, bend to my will.
I knew it.
That was close.
Unending glory is yours.
Jeez. Yeah, so I think Phoenix Guard held out pretty well. I'm not necessarily sure that they were value. Nope, nope. But I guess there's some value in holding like that. Their dragon didn't even get good value. What actually did? Bolt throwers kind of did. Mage got okay value. I don't think any units really paid for themselves very well. One of my archer units did. Okay. Interesting. I guess it's just he had too many units that got 0 value. I don't know what these guys were doing. If he had those in the front, that would have been the end of me. Oh, that wasn't his, yeah. Yeah, Bone Giant's just absolutely wrecking face there. I wonder why I couldn't call in a second, Phoenix Guard unit at the end there, because that didn't even give me the option to, like, wait around for them. Alright, let's try this again. Oh, this one's a standard map here. Lost Crater, Nehekara Desert. This one's too open for that unit to be my favorite. Let's see what we're up against. Yeah, we can try Teclis. Let's try that. Let's do the really dumb thing and leave him on foot. Kind of actually like Flaming Sword. I don't need that because he's got the Potion of Troy. Take away the enfeebling foe. We're up against Empire. Can't say that I actually like this. This is a really rough time to be doing what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so Ned Amtok, Flock of Doom can be good against this. Nope, Post left the game. Okay. Oh, what the heck? Yeah, I do like the music here. How come... I think my chat shut down for a while, because I didn't get these until all of a sudden I just got all of them. I think there might be something wrong with my laptop. Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the new Age of the new Warhammer Age of Sigmar stuff. Like, I don't actually like Age of Sigmar. I like the classic Warhammer. That's my sort of thing. I think that the Age of Sigmar game, like, they didn't really put too much emphasis originally on the gameplay, and just wanted to purely sell miniatures without a game to back it. So it was kind of garbage for a while, and by then I really just didn't have any interest in it, especially because the lore was garbage. Like, the story was garbage for Age of Sigmar. And that still kind of is, actually. Even though they've done a lot to try and improve the main stuff. Yeah, no, my laptop actually just outright disconnected for a while there. Perfect. Okay. Alright, let's pick ourselves our high elves. We'll try a Teclis match here. Okay, we're up against vampire counts. I think Teclis actually does well into vampire counts. Oh, that's probably why my opponent jumped out of that. Like, Phoenix Guard are actually traditionally a really good matchup against vampires, just for a multitude of reasons. Like, you can pretty easily go and just have a bunch of Phoenix Guard, and they'll sort of, like, chew up an infinite number of skeletons. They'll counter all of the really big, tough things that the vampires have to throw at them. So they have to use spells, but it's not necessarily super easy to hit them with, like, some of the spells, especially if I have, like, a couple and I spread them out a bit. Oh, I know what's happening. These are land battles. People want to play Domination, so they're jumping out of any of the land map ones. At least that's what I think's going on. Either I'm disconnecting. It's actually my fault. This is like my third land battle in a row thing. Alright. This one's in this crater again. Alright, we're gonna try doing one that doesn't rely very much on melee units, or cavalry units, I mean. It's always really risky leaving Teclis on foot. He's got like this real vulnerability to him when he's on foot. But you can get him for relatively inexpensive considering what he gives you. Because all of this is pretty big. Get rid of Kindle Flame here. Up against Greenskins. Yeah, I think we can kind of get away with this. There's the risk that I'm running into that they might go for a lot of artillery, which is one of those things that Greenskins can actually do, but I'm gonna go with double Handmaiden. These don't stack, actually. I'm just gonna get one. Don't need the steed here, because we're boxing. Like I said, we're going for sort of no cavalry with this build. But we will take one Great Eagle, just so that we can like take out some artillery if we have to. I'm not loving 3 Phoenix Guard. I think that might be overkill. So I think we do that. Was there anything I didn't want here? I don't need Foe Seeker on this character, so that's another 100 points, so I could get another one of these. Okay. I need to do some like checking to see like how charge reflection actually works. Half the time I'm not entirely sure what it's even doing. Alright, so things that Greenskins can do, like one of the obvious ones is that if they just have tons of boys, they can just sort of run at you. Like Orc Biggins or whatever, like they can just run at you and they'll do a ton of damage in melee combat. They're really quite strong at that. They've got a pretty diverse roster though. The only thing that's a little bit lacking is their Cav's a bit weak. But they've got plenty of sort of monsters and stuff like that that can make up for it. Can operate as sort of cavalry. They're overall, I think, one of the sort of stronger rosters. They've kind of got everything. The thing that actually would really be able to crump my lines is, yeah, go Orcs. You're spelling it wrong. Orcs with a K is the 40k version. They're actually spelled differently. Orcs with a C is the fantasy one. Their biology is actually different too, because the fantasy ones aren't mushrooms, whereas the 40k ones are. It's kind of surprising how many like small differences there are in the lore between the two, between the 40k orcs and the regular orcs, or the fantasy orcs rather. I kind of like them both actually, the 40k and fantasy versions, but the 40k ones are definitely supposed to be more funny. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just focus fire any black orcs I see, because they're the things that can counter this army since I don't have sword masters. And the other thing that counters this army is artillery. Okay, we're gonna move our infantry just behind this lip here. Yeah, there we go. Go orcs with the C. There we go. Yeah, if I have to fight the 40k orcs here with like with guns and stuff like that, I'd be at a major disadvantage. The technology gap is too strong.
Archers. Loyal.
Okay, so we're gonna move all of our regular troops sort of behind this lip of this hill here.
Loyal!
And that's gonna make it so that I can sort of avoid some of their artillery fire early on. And our artillery is going to be up. Well, let's actually do it maybe like this. So we'll have our army.
Claw.
Guardian.
Teclis.
Grabbed up here, not the Voltor.
Very well.
Okay. So we're just gonna sort of like have our army hidden behind the lip sort of over here. And we'll have it so our artillery can still fire. Potentially. Depends on where he actually sets up. But this does put some of stuff in range. We've also got our handmaiden sort of being able to fire from there. Okay. So dangerous things would be like the
Chosen of Hoeth.
can't remember the name of it, the one that throws goblins at me, Doomdiver catapults. I think those can actually like angle around the hill well enough to actually hit me here. But kind of not expecting that sort of to be a major part of his army. Well, it could be. Doomdiver catapults are pretty good against high elves. Any sort of like artillery that sort of arcs and splashes a lot
Orders received.
is really, really strong against high elves. It's like one of the most ridiculously effective counters in this game here. Hey, Nunez Mattis, how's it going? Let's see here.
I concur.
Understood.
Okay, we're gonna switch this.
Orifar.
Yeah, he's got some rock lavas. Oh, these are spiders.
I am ready.
Serve the king. As you say. Sinaf!
So he's got a bunch of stealth stuff, but we've sort of like caused him to falter a bit here in his charge.
Teclis. Charoy Lecky.
Might have missed him here. No,
March.
I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get there in time to catch up that
It
unit.
shall be done. Onward.
Did let us pound him with the arrows for a bit, and we are catching this one unit for a bit here. Let's get these guys to start focusing the next unit of infantry here.
Asuryan!
Alright, that saw off some of those guys.
Attack! It will be done. For the king!
Guardian of Avalon.
Alright, so Teclis over here.
Teclis. Scython. Hear me.
So we're just going to tap these guys so that they get decrewed for a bit.
It will be done. We away. Orders received. Understood. Attack. Assa, advance.
Kill them! Onward! Setting forth!
Okay, so let's get you guys like that.
Loyal Guardian.
Isha be praised!
Alright, we shattered through them. That's Grimgor himself. That's not
High
good.
Lawmaster. Arhain Kadei.
Nasty stalkers. These guys are actually really bad for me to be fighting here.
Acknowledged.
Oh, and he got around behind me.
Sister of Avalon.
He's just got too much stuff for me to like sort of be everywhere, unfortunately.
It will be done.
Nasty skulkers are getting hit morale-wise though, pretty bad and pretty hard.
Loyal.
Alright, he's kind of gotten rid of that guy.
For our ancestors!
Teclis.
Wonder if I could net of Amantok relevantly
Assa,
here.
forward.
Let's get after them. Let's keep going after them for a bit, actually.
As you say.
As you say.
I kind of don't need the bolt throws that badly anymore, though.
Swiftly!
Loyal servant.
For some reason, I thought she had abilities.
duty! Asa, move! For the king!
I think the nasty skulkers around the back actually got hit by the fear effect from the Phoenix Guard. I think that's what happened.
Without
I
fail!
probably should have boxed this. That would have just been easier.
We will obey. Assyrian willing. Asa, advance. Seal!
We will obey! Battle calls!
Oh, that's
Guardian.
Grimgor. That's Grimgor attacking
I go.
Teclis here. That's
By
ungood.
Ever on!
Alright, let's get that damage reduction 40 here.
Charoy Lecky! Yes! Making my way!
Archers! Make Ultron proud!
This is why you don't want Teclis on foot here.
Asa, attack!
Orders received! It shall be done! By Alariel!
We're gonna turn you off of that.
In order!
Try and snipe him a bit.
It will be done!
I do kind of need this net of Ammontok, I think. That's what's gonna help us here.
Scython! Hear me! Teclis! I know the way!
Asa, withdraw!
Run, Teclis, run.
For the greater good!
Orior!
Duty calls!
Alright, I kind of want another Potion of Troy here.
Fear my words!
This is all kind of turning to bullshit, which is probably more to the Orc's benefit than to mine, honestly. I think Teclis can fight this guy. Just fine.
Awaiting orders!
Death to all!
Handmaiden of the Ever Queen!
But yeah, we're probably about to lose this one.
Asa, withdraw!
Your VPN went down. That sounds like a liability sort of thing.
Acknowledge!
Setting
Run, Teclis,
forth.
run. Okay, not having any cavalry at all is basically a gigantic mistake on my part. Or if I'm going to do that, I definitely want to have some more flyers.
Teclis!
No, 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 no.
Yen Louis! Fear me!
For Assyrian!
Okay.
Fall back!
Grimgor's doing his thing there.
Pull back!
Oh, Teclis I think is dead here. Oh man. Yeah, never take Teclis on foot, I think, is the moral of this story, jeez. Yeah. I mentioned at the start that it's a huge risk going Teclis on foot, and yeah, it really is. Holy crap. I don't think the Phoenix Guard did very well here. Nothing for them to really effectively counter, and they were just getting pelted by rocks the entire time. These guys did pretty okay for themselves in terms of like sheer numbers. They were mostly killing goblins. That's kind of what we want them for, though, is to get rid of goblins. Archers, they did okay. I think the bolters also did kind of okay. Mostly just shooting at regular boys, though. Yeah, these things probably really paid for themselves. It's hard for me to do anything about that. These things. Probably not. He's kind of like a gigantic pansy, actually. Yeah, I get the feeling like eating babies is one of those things that you would probably find difficult, because I don't think he can lift a baby. That sounds like he's, it's a bit out of his weight class as far as that goes. Let's see here, Broken Leg Gully. I kind of forget how this map works, but I think we fight it lengthwise. I haven't actually rolled this map in a long time. Okay. So what did work was playing it... Oh, okay, well. He would, maybe if he had stronger arms, he would. If he had stronger arms, he would definitely maybe eat babies. Maybe he eats like babies in Age of Sigmar. The reason I think that he might is because they decided like all the good guys are actually bad guys and all the bad guys are actually good guys at the during the End Times campaign, which was absolute trash. Like the actual storyline for when the world was ending is just complete garbage because it was during that sort of Game of Thrones era where it's like anything that's surprising is good, so they just made all the good guys bad guys and all the bad guys good guys. And it's just like whoever is writing this garbage is just idiots, but the lore is exhausting. Yeah, no, the lore is definitely exhausting. That is absolutely true. Okay, so I need to probably use this more often. Actually, no, I need to not use that at all. Let's actually take this. Actually, Wild Heart's still really good. Okay, what are we up against? Dark Elves. I probably don't need that one necessarily. It's probably fine. Okay. So Teclis, he costs like 1 trillion points. Yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Lore being just dead does feel pretty bad, yeah. I mean, it'll come back. Maybe in 20 years from now, but they're bringing it back. I'd say I believe in them, but I really don't. You saw something you can't unsee. Glad that everyone here is in agreement that Age of Sigmar is garbage. Alright, we're trying Phoenix Guard today. That's what we're trying out. Witch Elves are going to massacre us, which is fun. Love it when Witch Elves massacre us. Well, I mean, you know, that's the equivalent of a fist bump for 2 fat people, right? So, you know, I mean, you know, fat people got a fist bump too, but they can't reach with their stubby little fat people arms, so they have to use what sticks out, right? You know, it's how life works sometimes. It's probably actually very discriminatory against fat people, what I just said, but I don't regret anything. Alright, let's do that. I'm getting distracted from my army selecting here, guys. You guys are distracting me. This is gonna just be an emote that gets spammed here from now on, just sporadically. Nice little sort of secret thing just for you guys. No one will ever know the true context. Even me, I don't know what's going on. Alright, let's get a bunch of spearmen, I think. A couple rangers. Getting cancelled, oh no. Well, you can't cancel someone who already wasn't, you know, popular, so, you know, cancel me from what? I'm uncancelable because I'm unpopular. Let's grab a Sun Dragon. Alright. This is a terrible army and I feel bad about it, but, yeah, Ogre versus Ogres. That's definitely the emote for Ogres versus Ogres. Man, that would be an interesting matchup as Ogres versus Ogres, because it's going to be like everybody just takes whatever's anti-large. Yeah, I'm trying to actually see that icon, and yeah, no, I definitely see what you're talking about there. Oh well, I mean, whoever designed it probably didn't get paid very much for it anyway, so we can sort of take solace in that. Alright, I blame the fact that I don't actually know what my army is and that it's, like, just really, really bad on you guys for distracting me here, but should be fine. The main sort of problem is going to be it's Dark Elf, so I'm going to get just destroyed by crossbows. I feel like Shades are probably actually a really good unit to have on this map, or in this game mode. I wonder if Shadow Warriors... No, Shadow Warriors do garbage damage, though, is the problem. Like, Shades are good because they do shit tons of damage. I mean, they might not even be getting paid at all. Maybe this is one of those ones where, like, Google just showed up and said, it's like, oh, we found, like, an emote someone made. We're just gonna take it. It's ours now. And, like, you know, whatever the designer did to, like, make their webpage show their crappy belly-slapping designs, they just got so garbaged in the algorithm that no one will ever find their webpage anymore. So, you know, the evidence is hidden. It's been buried. But, you know, can't say I feel overly bad for the guy. It's like you put 2 minutes of effort in MS Paint, so...
Archers!
Just villains all around. There's no good guys here, including us.
Eagle Claw.
And I am dragging you guys down in the mud with me here. Alright, so I don't remember what I was doing, and I don't know what this army's geared up for, so let's just get into this and see what the hell happens. Oh, there's Malekith. Hello, Malekith. Do you want to get hit by a lightning ball again? In the stories for Teclis, a lot of them he just hits the enemy with lightning and they fucking die. Oh, that was some chariots. You son of a bitch. Scourge Runner chariots are actually ludicrously dangerous. Maybe he hates Java Google, so he did that on purpose. Yeah, that's also possible. Scourge Runner chariots are how you can sort of tell that, like, the developers kind of don't like High Elves. Because you can compare, like, the, effectiveness of the Scourge Runner chariots to the Tyrannok chariots and find out, like, actually, yeah, they really fucking hate High Elves.
Swiftly!
Alright. Let's get another unit of cav out.
As you say. Swiftly. Without fail.
I am ready. Making my way.
Looks like we're gonna get the charge off against these Dark Riders, but just a tip at the rear there.
Silver helms. Asa, advance. Weapons ready.
Sort of going around chasing with Malekith, which is fine.
Acknowledged. For the king.
Scython! Hear me! Awaiting orders.
Silver helms.
Illyrian Reavers!
My recollection is that I win this fight here. The one between Silver Helms, or Illyrian Reavers and Dark Riders.
Yes.
Scourge Runners are shooting away at Teclis, that's fine.
To war!
At once.
Illyrian Reavers!
Lawyer. It shall be done.
Eurothere!
Asa, withdraw.
Alright.
Archers! Advance!
Ancestors.
Executioner's over there, that's dangerous as hell.
It shall be done.
Yes!
Alright, so we did defeat the
Onward.
Riders there. These guys are much stronger than my dudes, so that's a problem. Executioner's getting double teamed like this while also getting shot at is going to end them pretty quickly. Oh, what actually hit these guys? I think that was shots from these guys, actually. I think that was missile fire.
As you say. It shall be done.
Executioners downed immediately.
Orders understood.
If you guys do this. Executioners picked off a bit more than they could chew with all that fight.
For duty. Asa, move!
Need to run these guys away here a bit. Okay.
Illyrian archers. And I be praised. Ancestors!
Asa, withdraw!
Guardians!
Illyrian Reavers.
At
Again,
once.
I'm really lamenting that I can't just win
Acknowledge.
fights with this faction.
Pull. Serve the king!
That's all our archers dead, though. Wait, when did I... Oh yeah, that's the Sun Dragon. I thought that was an eagle for a second. Alright. Got a bunch of Witch Elves cramping my style, which is great.
Teclis!
Got a bunch of my opponent's units just refusing to actually flee.
Illyrian Reavers. Orders understood.
Loyal! Asa! Forward!
Turn off
For
skirmish mode with
duty.
these guys. Turn off melee mode.
Without fail! We away!
Spearmen.
Illyrian archers!
You guys down that way.
Chosen a poet! En Louis! En Louis! Halt!
Alright, let's try and get out of here.
Fear my words! Ever on!
Didn't place the net right. Alright.
Archers.
Teclis!
Pull back.
It will be done.
High Lawmaster!
Yeah, no, we're getting absolutely hammered at this point.
Setting forth! Arhain Kadate!
I don't know. I don't think Isles are that easy to hate. They're just kind of generic in some ways.
Seeking the foe!
Okay. I think we just pile more stuff into this fight, basically. Ouch.
By Alarion. Battle call. Serve the king.
No, the ones that killed the, yeah, the toads were the ones that killed a bunch of dwarves by just randomly moving them out in the air.
One of your units has been destroyed.
Probably several of my units have been destroyed. Alright.
Teclis!
Asa, withdraw!
Come on, let me actually... What the hell?
Charoy Lecky!
Alright. So that got a whole bunch of those Cold One Dread Knights,
Tremble before me!
which is quite nice.
Pull back. Silver Hounds. As you say.
Let's actually go after Malekith a little bit here. Oh, what the hell? Is that an assassin? Yeah, it's an assassin.
Moving out!
Who takes assassins in this game, honestly?
None can comprehend my power!
Yeah, I just don't have any troops that sort of win fights here. That's the problem I'm gonna run into.
To battle.
I think all I can really do is sort of like spam infantry onto the point and try and hope that that wins. Yeah, plain oatmeal of Warhammer is pretty much exactly what they are. Yeah, I think that's agreeable.
Master of the White Tower.
But, you know,
Scython.
plain oatmeal's fine sometimes. By which I mean, that's my preferred thing in this game, honestly.
Teclis. Battle calls.
Alright, let's try and get this onto this point here if I can.
Understood. We advance.
I think actually the even sort of plainer unit faction in a lot of ways is dwarves, but
Swiftly!
that's only in some ways. I think that Isles are plainer in some other ways.
Aurifair.
God, Teclis has got to be like the worst general to take in most situations. Oh, that assassin's still after me.
Yen Louis and Louis.
Which elves? They're gonna win though.
Asra, forward.
They absolutely crush rangers. It's not even close.
Archers! We away!
Assyrian guides us. Battle calls.
Alright, let's charge the bleak swords with our remnants of these cav.
Advance.
Paid 700 points for me. You'd think that after spending all that on them, they'd be able to win if they managed to use all their ammunition, but
It shall be
it's not how this game works, unfortunately.
Pull back!
I go.
Yeah, my opponent's just gonna... Wait, why are the... They did change the number. God damn it. No, there's no actual Dogs of War, unfortunately, but I'm gonna concede defeat here. What they've done instead is that
There is
the
only defeat.
mercenaries in this are called Regiments of Renown, which the Dogs of War are sort of part of that. So they're missing like the actual specific units that you would have in the Dogs of War, like the Marignano's pikemen or whatever. I can't remember all the different ones. So unfortunately, they don't actually have those guys, which is kind of a shame because a lot of them are kind of interesting. Instead, they've got specific army recruitment regiments of renown that are kind of mercenaries. And it doesn't make as much sense either because like the High Elves have all High Elf unit mercenaries and the Empire has all Empire unit mercenaries and so on and so forth. Regiments of Renown were in Warhammer 2 as well. They were the same sort of thing. Yeah. I think what they would have to do is make it so that, like, if you're... There's a global pool that everyone can sort of draw from that has the same sort of stuff. River Amexon. That's a creative name for a river. I wonder what that could be referencing. Yeah, the actual, like, Dogs of War army in particular, I don't know if it was ever fleshed out enough, but certainly more than, like, Cathay was, so they could definitely put him in, but... I don't know why they really haven't in some ways. I think that it would be pretty easy to implement. It wouldn't be in the multiplayer if they did, though. It'd just have to be, like, certain units that you could recruit from any faction. Because they had that sort of mercenary system in, like, Total War Attila, where you could just be in a province and there would be certain mercenaries in the province that you could hire, regardless of what faction you were. Okay. Where are we? I'm in the north again? There's some times where this map the map pool feels really, really small. I actually can't remember names very well, so I'd have to double check. I don't think I have, though. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I don't think I've even heard of that one, to be fair, but I might have. Okay, it's Hiles versus Skaven. Shit. This is a dangerous map for that to be. Kind of wondering, like, what would be a good sort of lore of Magic for trying to snipe out some of their stupid, artillery is basically what I'm always worried about in this game. Because they make it so damn hard to kill artillery. We'll try this again. And then the rear charge with like the Star Dragon, that seems to work really well, so. Oh, I have heard of that. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it. But I do know that I have heard of that, yeah. Yeah, I probably would like that. I usually like that kind of thing. Do they have that on, like, Crunchyroll or something, or...? Is that something you can sort of look up and watch online? Oh, this is such a bad freaking choice here. Ugh, ugh. Okay, so this is where this is, like, I think the worst choice. Okay, unless he, like, spams Doom Wheels or Rat Ogres or something like that, this is, like, the worst time to be doing this sort of garbage. But at least we sort of know what we're getting into, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Can I actually get... Let's try doing some Shadow Warrior bullshit. Yeah, I don't actually pirate anything, honestly. I don't really care too much about it either way, but I generally tend not to pirate anything. I just have a preference for not. I'm not really going to judge anyone that does, though, either. Let's just get some more infantry that we can throw on points here. Actually, we need some archers. Oh, okay, that's fair. What about the Funimation one? It's pretty much also garbage, but, you know. They kind of all are, actually, but I don't really mind that, honestly. I think the real thing that a lot of people have an issue with is the way that they do ads on those sites. Because they do ads in a really weird way that's sort of, like, annoying. Because it'll play literally the same ad 3 times in a row, and then it'll show the show. If it was 3 different ads, it would still be obnoxious, but it would be slightly less in your face about it. Honestly, though, I haven't really used either of those in a while. I haven't watched much anime lately. Not that I don't want to, but yeah, I just haven't. Okay, so...
Eagle Claw.
I'm going to just get demolished by cannons, and there's nothing I can do about it. Or plague wind mortars, or like whatever the hell. So it's just the way it is, I guess. Funimation has some free stuff. But it's not their entire roster or anything like that. It is just some of their stuff is free, but...
Terranok chariots.
Alright.
Apace.
Let's go ahead and get ourselves demolished by cannons, I guess. Oh, there's the Poison Wind Globadiers. Poison Wind Mortars. It's all mortars and stuff like that, which is actually kind of good for me.
Understood.
Here's the Rattling Guns.
Ancestors. Terranok chariots.
So the nice thing that's happening here is that he has chosen most of the stuff that's like
Assyrian willing.
area of effect good against like high elves kind of stuff there, instead of the stuff that's really good at sniping monsters. Because the stuff that snipes monsters would be even bigger a problem.
Will be done. For Lothar.
Asur Princess! For Ulthuan! St. Louis! For the King!
Let's actually just do this. Wow, that did like 0 damage. Okay, that's surprising because that's Star Dragon Breath. Well, it's unlocked by bullets. Fantastic.
For duty.
Blah. Alright,
Death to all. Acknowledged. we go!
Okay.
Asa, advance!
Do need some of these cav to help protect some stuff here, but
Loyal! For Assyrian! March!
can actually probably hit the wolf rats with just like really generic stuff here. Like my
Awaiting
mage.
orders.
Tyrannoc chariots! It shall be done!
Alright, so that got those guys to terror flee pretty
Outward
quickly,
mage. With haste.
which is nice.
Lakoi Sario.
It shall be done! Oreo!
Alright, he dodged that pretty nicely.
It shall be done! Acknowledge!
Kind of like isolated these guys a bit.
Assyrian guides us! Attack!
Shadow warriors! You're in there!
With Kadave. It shall be. Outward mage.
Without fail! Setting forth!
Oh wow, that killed
Draw
these
back!
chariots fast, jeez.
Mage.
These must be anti-large. Are they?
Ready.
Maybe they are.
Forward.
I'm actually not too sure.
Orders received.
Look at all these rats on the map here. He doesn't need to. Like, there's no need for sneaky rat tactics in a match of, like, Hiles versus rats. It's just not necessary.
Shadow warriors! Death to all!
It's pretty much one of the freest matches in the game, unfortunately. The reason is that, like, Hiles have nothing that works against, like, rats. Like, pretty much their entire roster gets negated by just a few units that the rats use. Which is one of those sort of moments where it's just like, you really hate the balanced team, but
Eagle claw!
yeah, it is one of the worst matches to play in the game.
Asa, advance!
Defender of Allglass. Understood. Moving out. Crush them.
Eagle claw! Following orders! Kill them!
Go for the Plague Monks there.
It is done.
Fortunately, I'm getting some terror routes against some stuff, and the Shadow Warriors are actually pretty good in melee,
Tyrannoc
but
chariots! Asa,
yeah, this is
move!
not really viable.
For duty! For duty! Moving
Ow,
out.
ow, ow. God damn it. Alright, I just need to get these guys onto this point here, I think.
Shadow warriors! For the king!
Why are these guys so slow? They must have been hit by a spell I wasn't paying attention to.
High mage. Slay them.
Like, look how easily they're killing my really expensive, like, these guys. There's nothing I can do about that either.
We will obey!
Like, there's no counter for me to use here. Yeah, like, they're overly strong in some ways, but there's actually factions that do pretty well against them, so it's not like it's always, like, a problem with them. There's just certain things that don't have good enough counters against them,
Make Ulthuan proud!
and Hiles are one of those factions, unfortunately.
Kill them!
For the Ever Queen.
The best bet for me is, like, to go very heavy on Cav, in my opinion.
Sinaf!
Because that way, at least if, you know, he does screw up and I get an opportunity to, I can really easily pummel him. Because they don't usually take a ton of good anti-cav against Hiles. Because Hilevan Cavalry is not the best or anything like that.
Tyrannoc chariots!
It's not terrible either, it's just, it's not
We
the
will
best.
obey!
And a lot of the counters that they do take are against elite infantry, which is what I took here, because I was saying I was going to take elite infantry.
Outward mage. The winds rise.
Alright, let's hit these Rattling guns.
Asa, withdraw!
Shadow warriors!
Ow. Jesus. Look at that. Instantly deletes a Phoenix Guard unit.
Silver Hounds!
Admittedly, not really. They were pretty banged up by the end of
Eagle
that.
Claw!
Back!
For Asurion! Woeful
It is definitely one of those instances where it's not like Skaven need a big nerf or anything like that. It's Hiles need a buff. In terms of like the regular infantry, just needs to be more cost effective.
Pull back!
Archers! At once!
Because nothing I have is cost effective.
Death to all!
Ancestors! Without fail! Understood!
Like the problem is still like every unit I have loses against things that cost the same as them.
Urither!
Minion! Moving out!
You can also get terror routes, I guess, against a bunch of stuff, but that's not consistent.
I concur.
That was a weird way to do that. Okay.
Yes! Quickly now!
Alright.
Outcry!
Archers!
Yeah, that kind of thing. That kind of thing is what is a problem.
Defending order!
Jesus Christ.
Loyal!
At once!
Battle calls! Death to all!
And like Plague Monk Sensor Bearers are not like an inexpensive unit or anything like that. That's not really a thing that goes on with them, but
Serve
they're not so elite costing that they should be able to do that to a unit of Rangers.
By Asurion!
And you know, we charge like these guys with the dragon, they route, but they're not that expensive, so it's not that big a deal if that happens. Oh, more Rattling Guns. Yeah. We sort of knew what, like, I sort of knew what this was gonna be like, and I kind of was like, ah, this is gonna suck. Never take Phoenix Guard against, like, Skaven. There's no point to taking them against them. I shouldn't commit to doing, like, stuff like this in these sort of events, because I will end up in one of those situations where it's, like, guaranteed to not work.
Defending order!
I guess that's the point of this, though, is to, like, try and figure out, maybe there is something that'll work here. Maybe there's something to it.
Advancing!
But, yeah, no, my theory crafting was right today. My theory crafting today happened to be right. Do you mean like Dark Elves? Or do you mean I have to be like playing it kind of scummy?
Princess of Alpha!
Because there's actually pretty limited scummy tricks for High Elves. There's some, they're not very good. I think the best way to deal with it is actually like calf spam, honestly.
To battle!
Which is why I've been sort of summoning up a decent amount of cavalry, but
One of
Shadow
your units has
Warriors!
been destroyed.
Daughter of Ulthuan!
still getting shot to pieces here. Yeah, the cavalry are like more resilient against a lot of the types of weapons that they are using, so it's not as big a
Shadow
deal
Warriors!
if I get hit by mortars or whatever.
Silver Hound!
And then their cavalry are also like a pretty good counter against a bunch of the unit types that they sort of tend to bring, so it's just a better all-around choice.
Assyrian guides us!
Lore of Death to snipe lords hasn't worked very well in a while. They patched the damage down so that it's really easy to survive it. I probably still could, I think, because they don't have any healing, really. But he took the one that has regeneration, so that wouldn't work here.
We advance!
I think a lot of Skaven players actually take the regenerating lord choices,
Shadow Warriors!
because they can't take any healing spells, so
Silver Hounds!
it makes sense too. I take regenerating lords all the time.
Tearing up chariots!
But, yeah. I'm surprised that they changed this to 2,000, or 1,500. That's even less than... Okay. I wonder when that change happened.
You have been bested.
Yeah, so these guys, like... They're too slow to get consistently to melee against things like Skaven, and they don't have anything to fight. Like, he didn't take the remaining large units that are gonna be fighting them. If this guy was fighting them, that would have been kind of okay, but the only things they could realistically be fighting are like rat ogres, and they're just not going to put them near me. So it really is not that good of a sort of choice there. But I already knew that, so. Lore of Death. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I think that like you can use it for morale breaking. It's okay for that. It's got like the Purple Sun, which is a quite strong one right now. What else is actually good in here? I don't see it taken that often. Fate of Buna is still important against some factions. Like, if you're up against a faction that has really heavy elite knights or something like that, then Fate of Buna can be used to, like, really pummel that unit. But it's not, like, great for sort of, like, getting rid of most sort of army stuff. So you don't see it too often. Yeah, I think the big thing is, like, you still take Spirit Leech because it can put some pressure on a Lord or something like that and force them to do a little bit of weird stuff, but you're not going to kill a lot of things, like 67 damage per second for... how long does this last? I don't think it's that long. I think it's like a few seconds. Duration 13 seconds. I guess that's quite a bit, but you're looking at about, like, 800 damage maybe at maximum. That's not tons of damage. It's like you'd have to cast it 10 times to kill like a Lord that's on a dragon or something like that, or something that's high value. I think that rat guy probably had a decent amount of hit points as well. Let's find out. Skaven. It wasn't Trechgraven. I think it was generic. Warlord, and I think he was on the Bonebreaker. No. He was on... He must have had a different character, because he was on, like, one of those big things. No, maybe that was just a, maybe that just was Bonebreaker. Okay. So, he's got 6,000 hit points. So, yeah, you'd have to cast it maybe 8 times, I guess, to kill him, and that's if you're really lucky on the rolls. That's a lot of Spirit Leeches. I think you could upcast it, I guess. No, that just increases the range. Yeah, so... It's just not as consistently good for assassinating generals as it used to be. It still works. It's still okay at that, but... I don't think that it's that reliable. But yeah, I thought that guy was on an abomination. I guess maybe they don't actually have that. Maybe that was just a rat ogre. Maybe I could have killed him because I don't think that these guys have regeneration, do they? A lot of protection, a lot of hit points though. Added from that. Yeah, because the Hell Pit Abominations, these guys have regeneration, so you can't really single target kill them anyway, and they've got way too many hit points for that. Yeah, Lore of Death against Skaven, I think you would purely use it for morale effects. Because... Doom and Darkness still works okay against them. I would still take that against them. I take that against orcs sometimes. It's just hard to justify because then you're missing out on like healing and stuff like that. And people will rally after you Doom and Darkness them, so it's not really a guaranteed kill or anything like that. Or you're getting rid of like low-cost chaff units while your elite infantry fight against the stuff that still sticks around, which is going to be the elite stuff anyway. I guess you could use this to stop yourself from getting overwhelmed or whatever, but it's not my favorite lore in a lot of ways. I'd say that you still take it for, like, mostly, like, Fate of Buna. Yeah, the big thing that I still worry about when I'm playing against Skaven is things like artillery, because it just wipes units. Yeah, Purple Sun is still quite good. Especially against the elite infantry. I wouldn't use Purple Sun against Skaven either, because it's not really chaff killing. It does kill chaff okay, but it's not effective for that cost-wise. It's really good at shredding through armored units and really weakening and softening up armored units. I think the best bet against Skaven with High Elves is honestly like to go heavy cav or even just pure cav almost, and then have some ranged missile units that can take out some of their spear units, I guess. But or probably maybe something like Shadow Warriors or something like that. I don't know. The problem with it is like if you do go for pure cav and stuff like that, they can actually just put out spears if they've got a couple of those lying around. But I think I just have to maybe use magic to take those out. It's not really an easy thing. Yeah, they made Skaven like way too strong at certain things because they're not allowed to have like high mobility units. They don't have any flyers, they don't have any cavalry. Which are big downsides. It's just the High Elf matchup, it doesn't really matter that you don't have those that much. Oh, that was just an open bloody field. Alright. Alright, what are we up against here? Some of the higher quality lords for High Elves as well are very expensive, which makes it hard to, They have the wolves? Yeah, they do actually have those. They're not quite the same as real cavalry, though, because, like, the Doom Wheel's more like a kind of a ranged chariot thing. It's actually not super good as cavalry. And then the other things are like a light cavalry kind of thing. They're kind of okay. Let's do Ilariel. Okay, so this is the match where I do think that like Phoenix Guard are really good in. Even Flames of the Phoenix, Phoenix Guard are really good here because you're not going to get killed by artillery. He does have spells that he can kill you with, but that's not a huge deal. Go with some cavalry here. We don't need shields, so we can even save some points on that. Could go with a little bit more flyers, but let's go ahead and get some rangers here. Figure out what we got left here. Let's throw in a dragon as our last thing again. Yeah, so like Skaven have equivalents to like fast cavalry that are kind of bad. They're actually really cost inefficient. The rat wolves or giant rats or whatever. They're not the most cost efficient, and some archers can actually beat them, especially like dwarven ones. Phoenix Guard are great in this match. They're actually just I think they're a terrible unit all in all. I think Kyle's like are overly focused in their heavy infantry, their elite infantry. Like, the developers of this game are like, well, they've got such really powerful, like, elite infantry, so clearly, like, they're an okay place, but people don't really use that much elite infantry. They're not, like, army defining. They're not good enough for that. The combination here, though, is, like, you use Earthblood, you use, like, Star of Avalor and stuff like that, and you do against Undead, and then he Purple Suns you, and you just cry a little bit, but, you know. You hope that the Purple Sun, like, hits a lot of his skeletons, I guess, but even if he kills, like, 4 of his units of skeletons to kill one of your Phoenix Guard, it's kind of worth it for him. Alright, major concerns here are things that, like, are just gonna, like, stand outside on the fringes and grind us down, like, I can't remember the name of that effect, but it's the one where we just take damage for being near it. It's gonna be a real problem for us, I think. Mortis Engine type things. And, of course, like, Vortex spells, the big red ball of vampiric death is potentially rolling across our lines would be pretty disastrous as well. I usually take like 0 ranged units against undead, just or vampire counts in particular, because like you just end up getting swamped and you're firing at things that are either all regenerating or they're all going to get healed up anyway, or They all have like decent block chance while being really inexpensive. There just aren't very many good targets for archers in this matchup, so I end up taking none, which is probably not a good idea. I probably need some. Or just like a bolt thrower or something like that. But then they always immediately stop firing every time I do take one, because we end up in melee right away. Vampire counts are fun. In some ways, they're kind of frustrating to play as in others because they're another one of those factions with a slightly limited roster. Unlike Skaven, they didn't get as many like ridiculous goodies that make them kind of overpowered.
Loyal.
They were really overpowered in Warhammer 1 though.
It will be done.
It shall be done.
Just gonna try and like have a bit of a blob here. Ranger our troops in a bit of a block. We'll have our cavalry sort of around to intercept anything, trying to
Silver helm.
mostly go after the Rangers.
Chosen of Isha.
So we got Banishment. It's hopefully is going to work well here. Second favorite in tabletop.
Servant of
I think
light.
I might have been my second favorite as well, actually, because I played Lemians on the tabletop, the Vampire Lemians. I thought they were pretty interesting. Then they got rid of the Vampire houses, so they were all just sort of one faction again. It kind of sucked, but on the tabletop, they actually had a couple things they did okay. Yeah, my opponent's kind of gone for the same kind of strategy here, of like, have a block of things. Dire Pack. Felbats. 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 Cool, great.
Moving. Driving back the dark.
Okay, I really want to get my Banishment castable here.
It will be done. For order!
For order.
To the fray!
Battle calls. Quickly now.
I'm gonna try and get a big breath attack down on all this stuff here. I don't even need to like run around the flanks, I think, for this.
Alariel be ever queen. Hear my gifts.
It will be done. Silver helms.
Acknowledged.
Okay, so this battle is weird. Can I actually drop this dent back there?
Let ride. With haste. Onward.
Got a bunch of auras on her that are actually kind of useful in a bunch of this instances here. Okay, I kind of need to get into melee with her,
And wither.
but I think this is actually a pretty good spot for it. Let's.
In thrust.
Blood Knights are going to go down, I think, pretty quickly here. Fighting against what they're fighting against. My opponent took a really weird army, honestly.
Serve the king.
Okay, my Silver Helms are going down, but I think that's an okay trade.
Alariel be ever queen.
Also withdraw.
Isha's chosen.
Oh,
Sentry.
great. I think Krell's on the Everqueen
By
here.
Isha. Ever onward.
I think my opponent's actually going to win this just because of the cheese here.
Set up.
Advancing. Isha. Light of Avalon.
I need to try and get out of this. God, it is so hard to consistently get out of these sort of things.
The Everqueen. Guided by light.
I think he's taking a bunch of damage from doing this, though.
For order.
Silver helms! It shall be done!
Ouch.
Draw back!
Have I made it
Isha,
out?
guide me. High Priestess.
Not really. God damn it.
Understood! For the king!
Alright, Phoenix Guard all up the front here. It's gonna just be them grinding away.
Dawn's hope.
Alright, I need to run this
Under
way.
her protection. Sarior. Onward.
Okay, see if I can get out, but I don't think I can. I think it's literally impossible. This is a weird army I'm facing off against, by the way. It's just slightly strange here.
Lakai. Lakai. Lakai.
Hope I clicked on the right unit there, and not my own unit somehow.
Senlui. At once. Driving back the dark.
It's so annoying that sometimes your units get really stuck and there's nothing you can do about it, but sometimes, like, units, like, really easily get away. Oh, what the hell? What suddenly killed a whole bunch of these guys? Okay, we finally got out. But I think we lose here. That's kind of surprising that, wait, what did kill these guys? Interesting. Yeah, no, his build is definitely for that, but, I'm wondering what the hell actually killed some of those Phoenix Guards. I think they got a lot of value, though. I don't think that we necessarily did bad on that. Yeah, there we go. God, getting your general stuck like that for the entire match is such a pain. I shouldn't bother taking the Rangers. I don't think they can do anything. Yeah, they didn't accomplish anything there. These guys did kind of okay. These guys actually did pretty well. Dragon did pretty well. I don't think it was this that did that much damage. I know it's a lot of Mortis Engine damage, but I don't think it's that much, is it? Maybe it is. Blood Knights. Yeah, one of them got a lot, the other one didn't get very much. Which I'm kind of okay with. I think the guy that was beating me up in melee was actually a summon. Yeah, because he can holy shit. What did he cast? I know he got a lot of value out of the Vortex type spells, but he must have cast another one that I wasn't paying attention to. Or not Vortex spell, the Line spell. It did get slightly nerfed, so it could have been worse actually, but Vampire counts, not Coast. What spell would he have used for that? It wasn't that. Maybe it was All Wind of Death. Except that's more than my entire... all my infantry's worth, so I don't think he could have actually got it just from that, could he have? Maybe. I think he had... I think he used this. Yep. That's what done with White King. I wonder if they buffed Blood Knights at all? Because I know that they buffed the vampirism effect on Vampire Coast units, but maybe not, because these guys were pretty good before. Like, they're really expensive, so they deserve to be really good, so... Yeah, keeping them in a fight, though, against my, the units that I want to be fighting them is the hard part, I think. Alright, I think I got time for, like, one more. Maybe not. No, yeah. We'll see if I get one quickly here. If it takes a little while, I'll end stream, but... I've been getting matches pretty quickly today, so... I wish they would buff Rangers. Rangers, I think, are continuing to be a real disappointment unit, but I don't have other cheap infantry that fight other infantry, so... And they're not even cheap. 600 is ridiculously expensive for what they are and what they do. Arnheim. Oh, never mind. Okay, we'll try one more time here. I don't know any knock-knock jokes. What is this, the 80s? I don't actually remember the last time I've heard a real knock-knock joke, honestly. Especially a sincere one, like, some people will just tell a knock-knock joke because they're intentionally bad jokes, but... I don't know, there's probably someone that actually still tells them. I don't know any of the people who do. I haven't read any of the books that tell knock-knock jokes. I remember back when I was like a little kid, there would be those compilations of really bad jokes and it would be full of knock-knock jokes. I don't remember this map very well. Okay. Who are we up against here? Wood Elves. What ends up happening in like half of the Wood Elf matches I'm in, like I end up getting just like rammed by cavalry. They just take tons of it. It's always unexpected every time it happens. The other half of the time it's like War Dancers. But War Dancers I'm a little bit less worried about in some ways. I'm gonna try and learn how to use a chariot here. This is another one where I'm just not gonna bother using Phoenix Guard. They really don't work here at all. Use you, and we're gonna stand near our stuff. Use that reload skill and stuff like that. They're classics, yeah. I mean, they are classic jokes, but they're not good classic jokes. They're dead for a reason. Dead and buried, and I hope they never come back. I actually don't care if they come back or not. That would be fine, but... Alright. Let's, oh god, I hate these guys. Alright. If anything would fix High Elves, it literally is like a buff to these guys would fix them. Because as it is, like... I think maybe giving maybe... I was about to say giving them a bigger bonus versus infantry. That exacerbates a lot of the problems that High Elves already have. Doesn't really fix what we want to fix here. Oh, I forgot to take a mage. We should probably take one of those, just in case. And I think in this case, Lore of Life, because I've got a bunch of stuff that benefits from those. Just gonna do some basic stuff here. Alright, very elite spearman unit for no good reason. I haven't played Wood Elves at all yet in this version of the game. Not sure if it's gonna go well or not, but the thing about this is that usually you actually don't have Wood Elf players going against High Elves and trying to outshoot them. Because High Elves have tons of silver shields, which blocks a ton of the arrow damage. And they've also got, of course, like their own sort of ranged units that work well against Wood Elves. So you end up in this sort of weird situation when you're playing as High Elves against Wood Elves, you're sort of going to assume that they take lots of ranged units, which is what I'm doing here. And then they don't, and you end up fighting against a whole ton of, like, melee guys. And since all of like high elf units are only really good at one thing, you get completely overwhelmed. Alright.
Orders received.
So I've bothered taking like the Ithalmer chariots, which I normally don't take because I don't like the mechanics for chariots, but
Lothern
might be the
Seaguard.
thing I'm missing for some of these fights. Who knows? This is probably risky for me to have them like this, but I'll try and spread them out properly in a bit.
Illyrian Reavers.
They're just gonna keep these guys out of line of sight.
Without
Keep these
fail.
guys nearby. If we see lots of
Althwan Mage!
those infantry, the war dancers, then the chariots are going to actually probably do okay against them, unless they're the spear wielding ones, which are really, really powerful, which I would not want to
Lothern
fight.
Seaguard.
Huh.
Eagle Claw.
By your will!
Okay, this is just weird.
Asa, advance!
Yeah, like what the hell is this?
Princess of
What even is
Althwan!
happening here?
By Asturian!
Alright, let's toggle off flying here.
Ithalmar chariots.
Understood.
Well, that's
Lothern Seaguard.
not ideal.
We will obey.
For Althwan! For Althwan!
Got breathed on here.
Northern Seaguard.
Attack!
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, honestly. Let's be fair here, I have no idea what this is.
Assyrian guides us.
Illyrian Reavers.
Like, I'm so stunned and confused that, that's about all I can say about this.
As you say. Orders received.
Ithalmar chariots. It shall be done.
For order.
Agreed! Asa Princess!
Ithalmar chariots.
Spellcaster!
What the hell happened to these guys?
Pull back.
What is still happening to these guys? What the heck?
Pull back. Understood.
Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah, Dooms.
We advance.
What happened to those spearmen?
Without fail.
Like, that's what I want to know.
Ithalmar chariots.
Just immediately evaporated to something.
Althwan Mage! San Louis!
Alright, so we beat their general.
San Louis!
Northern Seaguard. Sinner
Which is interesting.
is weak.
Loyal.
Aurea. Ithalmar chariots. Onward.
What's interesting is that these guys are actually beating spearmen units. They used to actually be really, really weak, so I'm wondering if they buffed them. Which they probably needed, honestly. Like, let's be fair here.
Althwan Mage!
Acknowledged. Enemy mages.
Orders! Setting forth!
Okay, my general's dead. Is his general dead? No. Actually, yeah, I think his general is dead. I think it's both our generals.
Setting
What a
forth.
weird frickin' army.
Loyal! Onward! For Assyrian!
I wonder if he, like, breathed... No, he can't breathe with those guys when he did, because they're grounded.
Alcuin Mage!
Hmm. Well, that was interesting.
Draw back.
I have to admit, like, that battle was interesting to me. I want to figure out what actually killed all those spearmen, because they instantly died. Like, they were in there, they weren't getting breathed on. I can actually double check that. I think they got 0 value. Their general got lots of value, my general got lots of value. 2 more forest dragons. These guys did very little, actually, and I'm kind of actually not surprised by that. It was mostly just the dragons did everything. These things did take a lot longer to kill than I remember, though. I wonder if they got buffed, because they used to be, like, just absolute garbage. So, maybe not. I don't know. The thing is, like, these guys are supposed to actually, like, do well against Treekin. I've had these guys used against Treekin, they do well. So I'm kind of curious about that. I really... these guys got 0 damage. What the hell happened with that? It couldn't have been a spell, because they don't have Spellcaster. Oh no, Lore of Life Spellweaver. Okay, I think I know what might have happened. They might have had Dwellers Below on top of them. Like an Overcast Dwellers Below probably was what did that. Maybe? I don't know for sure, actually. Probably, though. Yeah, these things got very little value. They shot a couple times at these guys, but did very little with it. Well, either way, that was interesting. Learned a bit out of that one. More importantly, though, it is time for me to get to work soon. So, I'm going to call this one a stream. I will be here again on Wednesday. I don't have any knock-knock jokes, and I probably never will, because they're terrible. I don't know why you would want knock-knock jokes. But, yeah, no, hope you found this one enjoyable. I actually learned a lot today. But, yeah, no, I hope you found this one enjoyable, and hope to see you guys all next time.